Welcome to the match preview for the Liverpool versus Leicester Cup game, the Carabao Cup game. Get your views and comments in, as always, for the guest today. We've got a guy from Redmen TV today to go through the preview for us. So get your views and get your comments in, and we'll get straight into the video. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I'm guessing the video played. I'm not too sure. We will bring the guest in now. How you doing, mate? How you doing?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm good, mate. How are you? Yeah, thanks for inviting me on.
No worries. So we'll go straight into the game preview. What is your kind of take on the Liverpool pre-season and the season at the moment? Because you've had a few good results. Obviously, I'm not too sure where you are on the table at the moment, but I've heard you're doing pretty well. What's your kind of take on the season so far?
Yeah, it's been really positive, to be honest with you, mate. Like I say, Liverpool, we're a much changed side. Quite a few of the old guard left. A few new signs arrived in. We've drawn one league game away to Chelsea on the start of the season. Since then, we've won every single game. So we're currently second in the table, only a couple of points behind Man City. And obviously, it was meant to be a bit of a transitional season, and so far so good. Obviously Europa League as well, played one game in that and won that. So yeah, the mood is about as high as it could be, really. It's been a really strong start to the season, because this time last year it wasn't great. 12 months on it feels a lot nicer, a lot more familiar.
Yeah, obviously you were saying on your side of the stuff that before we've been playing in the Premier League, now we're in the Championship. You are in the Premier League still. Like I said, I've just looked at your fixtures and you've not lost a game yet in the Premier League. So can you see this being a test for you? Obviously, yes, we're on the Championship, but we have had a brilliant start to the season, obviously winning 9 out of 10 games in all competitions. Any kind of threat, do you think, or do you really think that this could be a game which you probably could take with a bit of an ease?
No, I don't think that. Liverpool are going to make a lot of changes. They made a lot of changes in the Europa League. They played Lask in Austria last Thursday, and they went 1-0 down, and it took a while for that team to gel in the end. Liverpool actually had to call on a few of the big guns off the bench to get the job done. So I don't believe in the that it'll be easy. Leicester obviously full of confidence. It depends on how you guys treat it as well. Like, if you play your full team, a team full of confidence, then maybe, because we do have listen, the League Cup isn't Liverpool's priority, and there's a lot of squad players who are going to be used. Now, they're really good players, chock full of international players. Liverpool's backup options are really strong, but it's not going to be Liverpool's first team. And this season so far, in pretty much, I'd say every game, Liverpool have started slowly. We've had to come from behind numerous occasions. We went down to Bournemouth, down to Wolves, down to Newcastle, down to Lask. As well, West Ham got an equaliser against us, so it hasn't been plain sailing. And if Leicester can come with, like, similar to last time, really put out a good side, and Liverpool are a bit of a mixed match team. Leicester were 3-1 up at one stage at Anfield. They blew us away in that first half. So these things can happen. So the strong point is that Liverpool's squad options are better than that one. That was a bit of a mismatch of a team. These lads are all good players, but I'm not saying Liverpool's going to walk through Leicester. I think that would be disrespectful to Leicester, if nothing else. But I would expect Liverpool to win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Yeah,
obviously you're talking about the team saying there's going to be quite a few changes. Is there anyone that you would say has to start? Maybe, obviously, from what I've seen from your attack, there's a few players that did start against us a few years back. I don't know, Van Dijk, does he start? Does someone like Joe Gomez come in? Does the youngster who'd been taking Van Dijk's place when he was out for a red card, anyone you think would be in the team tomorrow?
I don't think Van Dijk will play. My guess, there'll be a lot of changes actually compared to Liverpool's first team. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is still injured. Joe Gomez has been his replacement at right back, but against Lask in the Europa League, Stefan Bajcetic, young Spanish kid, played at full back. So maybe that. Now Trent's expected to be back for the Spurs game at the weekend. So if that's the case, they might use Gomez at right back. Centre back, Kwanzaa, young Gerard Kwanzaa, he played against Wolves when Van Dijk was suspended. I imagine he would start with Kanate probably, or Matip, one of those two. Kostas Tsimikas will be at left back. Kevin Kelleher will be in goal. I think that's for certain. Penalty saver extraordinaire as well. You guys are from the last time. Midfield, Endo probably is the defensive midfielder. He's the captain of Japan, so like he's a good player, but he's the backup option really at the moment. I'm guessing he plays. Harvey Elliott probably plays. Ryan Gravenberch, again another international, Dutch international. He's new to the squad. He was signed on deadline day. He started in Lask again. He came off the bench at the weekend against West Ham, so I'm guessing he starts. Ben Doak will play at right wing, definitely. I'd be shocked if Mo Salah started, so young Ben Doak. And then up front, the other two options. So my guess is it will be Jota and Gakpo, again, quality international footy players. At the weekend, it was Diaz, Nunez, Salah. So if the rotation happens, I expect Gakpo and Jota got maybe 10 minutes or so off the bench. So I'm guessing they'd start. So that's a pretty strong team that I've named. It's a strong Liverpool side. It isn't that's Liverpool's reserve 11 almost, which shows the depth that Liverpool have got, which probably explains why we started the season so well. We've ended games well. We've got a lot of quality, but it's very similar to the side that started away in Austria in the Europa League. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there were 10, 11 changes from the West Ham game. We even sent our assistant manager out for the press conference rather than the manager, which kind of shows like Liverpool, it isn't the highest priority on Liverpool's calendar.
No, like you say, I think that's the same with us. We're looking at this cup now thinking we probably wouldn't mind if we did go out, because the main focus is to get into the Premier League again. Have you watched Leicester much? Have you seen any players that you think could be a threat if the full team does start? Because like I said on your channel, there's so many players that have come in this year that are probably too high level for us. Anyone you kind of looking into thinking might be a bit of a threat or a good player to be in the team?
Yeah, listen, Vardy's always caused us problems. He's scored a lot of goals. No, it isn't the same Jamie Vardy it's always been, but he his record against Liverpool is very strong. So if he starts up front, perhaps then maybe. I like Dewsbury Hall. I think he's a good player. Again, it's hard to know if he'll start for you guys. He is such a good player for you. Mavididi, I know, has had a good start for you as well. I've seen a bit of highlights of Leicester. I haven't watched many of the full games, but I've seen bits of him. I like McAteer. He played against us in pre-season. I know he's only a young kid who's been out the side, but I was impressed with him in the pre-season when we played against Leicester. So yeah, listen, Leicester, they've got some good players. And my thing is, if Liverpool are at 80%, then Liverpool should win. I would say that. But if Liverpool aren't at the game, Leicester have got goal scorers. You look at your team, you're winning games, you're scoring goals. Defensively, you're not letting too many in either. So I'm guessing it's a Leicester side that is full of confidence. And if you come and have a go at us, and like I say, Liverpool have shown that we especially at the start of games, you can get at Liverpool a little bit. So they're the ones I've got my eye on, because I would always back us to score enough goals, to be honest. But I do think Leicester have got firepower to hit what will be a makeshift back four and goalkeeper. I think makeshift, reserve, back four and goalkeeper. They haven't played much together. So Leicester have definitely got goals in the side.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I say, McAteer has been scoring goals for fun in the Championship. You've got Vardy, who, yes, he scored last weekend, but he's still, like I say, he's still a threat. You've got Mavididi if he does start. But then there's a lot of young players that have come in in this Championship season to prove that they can do something. So I'm happy to see a few players dropped. Like I say, Mavididi, if he gets dropped, bring in someone else who I've brought in. And like I say, if the team hasn't gelled together that you're going to play on tomorrow, I honestly think there is a chance we can get a few goals in. And like I say, Connor Cody, obviously ex-Liverpool, ex-Everton and Wolves, could come in and do a job as well, because I think we both can agree he's still maybe the level you need to be at in the Premier League. So another one where you could probably stop any of your attackers going through.
Yeah, listen, what I would say on Liverpool's attack is that regardless of who's played, we've looked dangerous. Keep an eye out on Ben Doak, any Leicester fans watching or listening. Ben Doak, young kid, Scottish winger, he'll probably play on the right-hand side. He's very raw, but he's very exciting as well. He likes beating men, he likes going men, he gets to the byline, he gets crosses in. He's a little bit of an old-fashioned winger. He's not like most of our wingers are inverted. They like to cut inside and score. Ben Doak's the other way. He'll want to get to the byline. He's very, very shifty. Jota is class. Gakpo's class. So there's enough attacking options for Liverpool to to get goals. Like say, you might get a Nunez or a Diaz or even a Salah off the bench, maybe if Jurgen's. Because I actually think I know it isn't a priority for Liverpool, this competition. Of course, it's fourth on the list of priorities, but there's a value in staying in this competition just because it gives these guys game time. Liverpool have got ambitions to win titles, win the Europa League. They want to get back into the Champions League at the first half after missing out. So there is a value, I think, in going far. We saw this when Liverpool in 2022, we won this competition. We won the FA Cup, got to the Champions League final. Last day of the season in the Premier League title race. There was a value in keeping players playing games regularly because by the end of that season, the likes of Taki Minamino, Joel Matip were all needed in the Premier League for different reasons. And they'd had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cup games under the belt. They weren't thrown in cold. I think Jurgen's really keen with the balance of his squad and keeping players happy, that I think he wants to progress in this competition. You almost have your Premier League team of a weekend and then your cups, Europa League side in midweek. So I wouldn't be shocked if the bench has got good players like the top guns on it, just in case they needed, 10, 15, 20 minutes to go. We did that against Lask and it worked. And, I wouldn't be shocked if, it's 1-1 with 10 minutes to go and Mo Salah comes on, for example. I wouldn't be hugely surprised, but I do think they are keen to go very far in this competition.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is your kind of aim before we do get into squad prediction? What is your aim of this season? Obviously, I'm guessing it always is trying to win the Premier League, but is there any cups you all want to try and win? Is it every single cup you are trying to win? Or?
Yeah, I think that's usually it's greedy, but that is it. I think the priority one is to be playing Champions League football next season. Whether that is a top 4, maybe top 5 finish, depending on how that all pans out with the new rules. Trying to win the Europa League, whatever, that has to be. That has to be at the minimum, because Liverpool shouldn't be in the Europa League. Liverpool are a Champions League club. After that, it's hard to say we should expect to win the Premier League because Man City are just out of this world. But if Liverpool can challenge Manchester City for, they've done it in the past. They've beat them once. They took them to I think they took them to the last day. 3 times, where it's gone down to the last game of the season. That would be amazing. I wasn't expecting that in the summer because obviously I mentioned before we've lost Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, Bobby Firmino, and that they're like the old guard, and then the new guard have come in. Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, Endo. So it is like a new Liverpool, and to expect them to go and challenge year one would probably be unrealistic. But given the start they've had, I do believe we're the second best team in the league. I think it's close. Us, Arsenal and Tottenham will all look very good sides, but I will back Liverpool. But as it goes, I think the important thing, like I say, is when you're at Liverpool, like you're expected to go and win trophies. That's the job. Anything less is really not really up to it. So the aim is to just win, keep winning. We've been on these roles before under this manager, where before you know it, you're in a quarter final of one cup, a semi final of the other. You've already reached the final of the other. We've proven we can do that. So that's always the aim. It has to be, really.
Yeah, and then the last comment I'm going to make before we obviously give the score prediction is: would you be annoyed if we did beat you tomorrow? Would you be unhappy that we did knock you out, or is this something that you do really want?
Absolutely. No, mate, listen, losing's never good. Losing's never acceptable. Yeah. If it goes to penalties and it's a bit of hard lines and you lose one, fair enough. But I think there's a lot of players in this side who want to be who I think are going to be in the side, rather, who want to be playing in Premier League games, starting those games. Someone like a Harvey Elliott, a Ryan Gravenberch, Endo, you've got Joe Gomez, you've got up front, you've got Jota and Gakpo. If those lads want to get their place back in the first team, all of those, let's say most of those are on the bench at the weekend, then you need to prove that, really, because the lads in the first team have been firing on all cylinders. So give the manager a headache. Yeah, I absolutely would be disappointed, of course. I want Liverpool to win this competition. I always think that's important if you can. And like I say, I think the game time is important. Jurgen at times bemoan the fixture list, and I understand it can be a bit intense sometimes. But given the squad options we've got, I think we're equipped to go far in both of them. So we'll see how it all pans out on the night. I'd expect Liverpool to go through, but I don't think it's going to be again, it depends how Leicester approach it. If Leicester go and put their best team out, it could be a really tough game to inform teams. If there's changes made on both sides, I'd probably still fancy us. But if Liverpool You know, if Liverpool make 7, 8, 9, 10 changes and Leicester go, you know what, we'll just go again with our best 11, then that could be quite a difficult challenge for us.
Yeah, and then finally the score prediction. Obviously, I'll ask for 2 just because of if you pretty much guarantee that you are going to change a few players. But if we go full out main team or B team, can I get 2 predictions for that? Because hopefully they're a bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I think we'll score goals, but I think Leicester will score as well. We haven't exactly been watertight at the back, so maybe 3-1 to Liverpool. If we play, you know, 2 equally sides. If not, you know, if Leicester go full strength and we go otherwise, then yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there was a penalty shootout. Obviously, we had the one in the 3rd round last year. Obviously, Liverpool actually went on to win the tournament. It was a couple of years ago, rather. Liverpool went on to win the trophy. You know, they were 10 seconds away from being knocked out by Leicester. So I wouldn't be shocked if it was another exciting one again. The games between these 2 teams have tended to be pretty close in recent years. So maybe I'm judging Leicester on previous experience, the Premier League Leicester, rather than Championship Leicester. But I'm not expecting an easy game. I think it could be quite close.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you for the invite onto your channel as well. That is from the Redman TV, so appreciate you coming on. And is there any links you want to shout out before I do take you off?
No, like I say, mate, yeah, Redman TV is the place to go. If you're interested in Liverpool at all or anything like that, yeah, just say it. We're everywhere: socials, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. So yeah, Redman TV. If you're at all interested,
yeah, make sure you go to the channel and give some love to there as well. Steve, thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you on the next time we hopefully play you in the Premier League.
Yeah, mate, see you next year.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. And there you go, guys. That is it for the match preview. Again, get your views and comments in on the game. We're probably doing a watch along for tomorrow. I'm guessing Michael or someone will be doing that. Appreciate you all coming in, and we'll catch you all on the next show. Thank you, guys. See you in a bit.